Hello, welcome to the weekly outlook in the DeFi Dojo. I am Groot, aka my real name is Rob. It is June 2nd, 2024, and it's the most boring month of crypto ever. May is over and June is here. Let's hope we get something soon. However, I don't know if I expect too much. Usually at the end of the month, you get some volatility, beginning of the month, some volatility. We have had nothing. I am still bullish on Ethereum. I think we're going to get over this 4K mark eventually. But let's start from the front, which is the dollar. And just so you know, this is the first weekly outlook of the month. I almost forgot about that part. And that means we go public to YouTube and everywhere. But if you'd like to catch this live stream once a week, you can sign up with the links in the description and join the DeFi Dojo membership, or just the Trade Dojo, which will get you these live streams as well. It is not expensive. I do not price gouge. It's only $20 a month. So, or you can take advantage of my bots. We have several crypto trading bots that will automatically trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, and Cosmos, aka Atom, for you, hands-free. Those do very well over the long period of time, and you got to be committed. But that would also grant you access to the Discord as well. So you have several options. Hit me up in the DMs or comments section if you'd like to know more about that. But let's get into the charts. Here is the dollar strength. Dollar strength has been pretty much not a factor in the last few weeks. We are just trading sideways. I think that in order for equities to push higher, we need to break this 382 and come back down below. We haven't really had a trend retest yet since we broke the downtrend here, and so maybe that's possible. But for now, I'm just, we're waiting. We're in between the EMAs still, closing, several weeks in a row in between, which means no movement, and that's what we've got. If we look at the S&P 500, there could be some bearish divergence happening here, yet to be seen, and I really wouldn't count it until I see a move below the 8 EMA, and we dipped below there last week, but the last few hours of the trading of Friday, we went right back up in a pretty crazy move to keep us above. So as long as we're over the 8 EMA, you have to stay bullish, regardless of divergence showing. You can stay divergent for quite a while before it actually starts to make the move down. So I don't want to call this bearish yet until we get a close underneath the 8 EMA. Same thing with the NASDAQ. We held the 8 EMA on the weekly. However, we have a firm indication here of resistance at the 1.272. This 19,000 mark is also pretty psychological, being a whole number. So it's just having a hard time getting over that mark. But I think we could continue higher as long as we stay over that 8 EMA here as well. Looking at the Dow Jones, we did close underneath the 8 EMA last week. So this is our first sign that maybe this is some sort of local top and a correction is due. Now, if you're not familiar, a correction is anything around 10%. Right now, this is just a pullback. So we'll see if we can hold 380 on the this is DIA, by the way. This is the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones. And I like using that more than the actual futures chart. But 380 is the mark to hold. Fall down below that, and it's quite a big gap down to the next level of support. And then if that does happen, then this could basically be sort of a map because it's moving first. And then maybe that's what we can expect to see out of the NASDAQ and the S&P should this not recover this week, right? So we'll see if the Dow Jones can recover after a pretty big fall the last 2 weeks. And if it continues to fall lower, then maybe we're in for a correction. We'll have to see. Moving on to stablecoin dominance. This has been pretty much sideways for 3 weeks now. We did stay below the pivot on the weekly, so and we are also underneath the EMAs on the weekly still, so this is still bearish. However, it did get back up over that trend, right? So got a trend line from the two extreme points here, broke above, closed below, broke above. I mean, this is about as neutral as it gets here short term. I'm not really going to try to call it. I don't think you can. Being as the market's pretty dead. We just need to wait for that big move, whichever way it goes first, and then try to take it in that direction and see how it goes. But right now, this is pretty neutral. We want to stay below the 8 EMA here, which is at 4.65%. Anything above that, we risk making the move back to the 21 EMA, which is quite a big gap here in between the two. So we just want to see it hold below that 8 EMA. If we do happen to get above it this week, then we can make that. You can see as soon as it gets above, we take shots like straight up, and they're pretty violent. So if we do get that move above, maybe we can take advantage of a quick short. But until then, I'm pretty much staying out of the game. I want to see this break back down below and start heading down to the lower white lines down here again in order to be bullish on crypto in the short term. Long term, I am still bullish overall. If we look at total market cap, we're just kind of consolidating inside this golden pocket here. We've had 2 attempts at the 786 that failed, and we just want to see this support maintain in the golden pocket. Support in the golden pocket is a good sign, which so far we have, for this to eventually, try to turn itself up. If we break below the golden pocket, which would then coincide with USDT breaking above that 8 EMA, then we can risk a fall, right? And it could be a pretty big one. There's a large gap here, and you can see price likes to move very quickly through this range. Like either you're going down or coming up, it goes very fast. So we could get some sort of flash crash or something of that nature, but as long as we maintain this red trend line here, which I fully expect to keep going, we are bullish. So there's a gap to the downside that's possible, but at any point in time, this is Bitcoin, this is crypto, we could make a significant move higher as well. I don't try to call things or guess. When the charts tell me that you don't know, I'm happy to say I don't know, and not try to make a guess. I'm overall bullish, but we could get some dips and corrections. Looking at Total 3, which is our altcoin market, kind of the same scenario. Golden pocket sell-off, that's to be expected. Find the 0.5 support, start moving higher, and so I do think that this can continue higher overall. But how many dips we need in between before we resume trend is anyone's guess. This is an uptrend. Trend is your friend. Could be making some sort of like bull flag, which means if that's the case, then we can see as low as that line, and we need to break this line in order to resume higher. So there's a lot of space in here, and anything can really happen at this point. Looking at Bitcoin, we are not able to close a weekly candle over the previous cycle's all-time high, which is what this white line is. So, and we're right in between, right? So like we're stuck in the middle of the all-time high of last cycle and the weekly 8 EMA. So this is why I'm saying like there's no way to guess which way this is going to go. We're like as neutral as it gets here short term. And so we get a move down to the 8 EMA, DCA a little bit, a move down to 62K again, DCA a little bit more. But overall, we're maintaining the top of the overall channel, and I'll zoom out just so you can see that. But here's the channel. We broke above, consolidating on top of it, using it as support, moving higher. Like this is eventually, in my opinion, just going to squeeze out of here and head towards our bull market targets over the next, less than a year. I have March 2025 as being close to the top, or at least when I think the distribution process will at least be underway. So yep, overall still bullish, no reason to sell at this moment in time. Looking at Ethereum, huge move and then sideways, just crushing everyone who tried to take a long or short it or whatever. Both sides are getting burned trying to trade this short term. Overall, we got our spot bags, so we're sitting pretty. Break the 4K mark and we're in business, right? We can start heading to the higher targets, like the first, previous cycle's all-time high is still way up here, and then bull market, I have 77.50 as the minimum bull market high for Ethereum, so I think that we're going to be fine. Downside target could be the 21 EMA, which is right around 3,600. So if that happens, I might DCA a little bit more. Other than that, I'm just going to hold on and see where things take us. I hope this has been helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the chart requests. I did just answer a bunch of those in the chart requests channel, but if you guys have any more, feel free to drop them in, and if not, we can end this early and make it a short video. Link. All right, let's take a look at Link. So Link is one of those ones that faked me out, and I'll show you why. Where are you? Okay, so if we look at the weekly, we had a downtrend with a weekly bearish cross right here. And I even gave it some time. I think I gave it like 2 or 3 weeks after it. Right? Yeah, 2 weeks after the cross. And I was like, all right, we're heading down. All right, I'm just going to take my profits. And then the following week, it just busts right through both of them, and now we're bullish again. So our main support's going to remain 16.28. If I see that again, I'll buy back in slightly higher than what I sold for, and then use those EMAs as my stop loss. And maybe an 8 EMA test around 1680 would be a nice spot to GCA some more link. But overall, I do still think we'll end up getting up into these golden pocket targets, 786 maybe, and that presents quite a bit of upside, even in the midterm. So I do like it. It is bullish on the weekly, and if we look at the daily, we're bullish on the daily as well. So yeah, I think I might try to snag Blink back again on some pullbacks. We could see that $17 mark again, which is support back here, 21 EMA here. That looks like a good spot to start trying at least. Hope that helps. Sol, I'll just go to Sol real quick because everyone likes to talk about Sol. But since the Ethereum ETF was announced, Sol dominance has plummeted, and that's taking forever. And we're back into, the greed FOMO zone. It's still definitely bullish, on the weekly, but it's definitely taken a backseat to Ethereum lately. And I think that might remain the case. I do think that Ethereum needs to show us something, and it did during that one day. And now it's just consolidating before it makes another move higher, hopefully. But I would much prefer Ethereum over Solana at this point in time, personally, at least until it can get over 175 again. You can see that's definitely the resistance here, and it's trying to get out of the greed FOMO zone, but it just can't. So until it does break 175 again, I would definitely still choose Ethereum over Solana. Let's look at Pendle. I have it right here. So this is still an uptrend. It is still very bullish. However, if you've been in this from the lows, this is definitely a place you might want to consider taking some profits. At least get yourself to a place where you're comfortable if this breaks trend and starts heading lower. We've seen a lot of altcoins make these huge moves, and now they're in the gutter, right? Don't let that happen to you. This is, a downtrend now on the RSI. It did not make a higher high on the MACD. This is starting to look like it might cross, and it's having a hard time at the 1.272, which it has actually not touched yet. If you're asking where I got this chart, I went back to previous history that's not in this chart and drew the high to the low. And so this is a massive gain. If people were able to buy this for pennies and you're hitting $7, that's an insane amount of money for whoever bought down there, and you bet your ass they're taking profits. And so don't get caught not making money on this if you're in profits. At least make something. And then if it breaks 1.272, okay, now we can target 100% higher from there. But until it does, this is starting to look like it's risky. BNB looks primed to either take off or dump massively. Curious to hear your take on Kudos. It's slowly grinding back up. BNB. Okay, let's go look at BNB. So it looks to me like it broke its pennant and then kind of just died in volume. But overall, this is bullish. It is grinding higher, and it's out of the greed FOMO zone. So that means it can go touch all-time highs. I wouldn't short it at this point in the game, unless it broke trend, which would be something that there. Something along that lines. If it broke back below the 886, then maybe I would try to short it from there. But as long as it's maintaining its position over the pennant, this is bullish and can push higher, even if it's just slowly doing it. So yeah, I wouldn't short that. Kudos, CUDOS. We'll go here. That's a trend retest from somewhere. Okay. So here's your golden pocket sell-off. That's normal, and we've hit the trend retest and started climbing a bit higher since then. And now our EMAs on the daily have gone bullish again, and that broke that downtrend here. So this looks pretty decent. MACD is getting into bullish territory. RSI is getting into bullish territory on the weekly. We have, yeah, that I like that. I like when candles do this. You have an open below both EMAs and a close above both EMAs. That is a very bullish move, and now these EMAs become your support. So you can use the 21 EMA as your stop loss or entry if we get a move back. But you can DCA from this point to this point and then keep your stop just below, or maybe you want to keep it below the trend again to be safer. If it's on spot, it wouldn't be too big of a loss from there. I like the risk to reward on this. I think that this is pretty good. You get, yeah, this is what you want to see. You want to see golden pocket sell-off, a bullish move higher, and then you want to return into it and head for the 786 and hopefully even higher. Yeah, this is one of the better charts I've seen in a while. I like it. I hope that helps. All right, it looks like that's going to be all the chart requests for today. We had a lesser turnout than normal this week. Usually we have quite a few people in here, but market's boring and nobody really cares what's happening. But hopefully this can be a help to you. Again, links are in the description. If you want to join the Discord, I post charts every single day on all the majors. I look for opportunities and post those as well. And we also have a new penny trading channel. It's been doing pretty well. So I hope to see you in the Discord. Come on in. Bye.